Okay, for everyone who's participating, we haven't actually called the meeting to order, but any of you who are not actually board members who are in the audience, can you keep your video and audio muted, off? We'd appreciate it. So it's 6:30. So at this point, we will call the meeting to order, and we do have a direction from the board secretary.
Yes, so this meeting is being held virtually due to the COVID pandemic. And I will do a roll call for board members that are present. Downs.
Here.
Hauser.
Here.
Anderson.
Here.
Sarah Geiser.
Here.
So may I have a motion for approval of the agenda?
So moved. Second.
All right. Do you want me to do a roll call? Or
Yeah,
go ahead.
let's just do a thumbs up.
Okay, all in favor? Yep.
It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Probably later we'll be doing roll calls, Mary Beth.
Okay.
Okay. And so at this point, we would normally be recognizing all our wonderful retirees in person and having speeches and getting to shake hands. But so Dina Quist has developed a video tribute, and a number of people have participated in trying to honor all of those who have worked and helped and honored us with their presence over the years. So Dina now is going to run a video tribute to all of those people.
Sure. All right, everyone, stand by as the video gets ready to load. And actually, just one more second. I want to make sure everyone who's in the waiting room is able to get in.
Can you unmute Stacy? She's under BOHLM.
Yes, thank you. I am unmuting Stacy. You're probably going to get a little notice soon. That is there. Okay, perfect. Okay. No one else is in the waiting room, so I'm going to get the video going. Thanks everyone for your patience. All right, here we go.
Bethany Berger, thank you so much for your years of service to Urbandale Community School District. Over the years, your students, families, and colleagues have learned about your passion and interest in supporting students in understanding the concepts in science by creating real-life experiences and investigations for them to engage in. They've also learned about your calmness and your focus on each student's needs and how you can serve them. Finally, your colleagues have witnessed firsthand your endless interest in learning new ideas and concepts in the area of education and how to best meet students' needs. Thank you for everything that you've done for Urbandale Community Schools, and we wish you the best of luck in your retirement.
Hi, my name is Lauren DeCry, Director of Human Resources and Operations, and I would like to congratulate Kathy Conklin on her retirement as the Director of Nutrition Services. Kathy has been with the district for 30 years. In that time, she has been dedicated to providing high-quality breakfast and lunch options for students and staff. Kathy has always been passionate about students and made sure their department has always kept student needs at the forefront as she worked to help provide thousands of meals each day. Just recently, Kathy has been creative and determined in providing grab-and-go meals for students and families throughout this pandemic. We wish Kathy all the best in her retirement.
Sharkoon, thank you for everything that you've done for Urbandale students over the years. We'd like to thank you specifically for your passion and your energy and the belief in every student that you've supported. We can't thank you enough for everything that you do for our students, and you will be missed.
Just wanted to take this time to say a special congratulations and thank you to Chris Burke, Tim Carver, I've had the privilege of getting to work with Chris for the past 21 years at Urbandale High School. Over that time, I've known her to be somebody who has not only taken care of the physical needs of people, ordering things for classrooms, making sure things are ready for the start of the year. Anytime during the year somebody needs something, they go to Chris. But the thing that really strikes me about Chris is I've seen more working much more closely in the last few years, is just her personal care for everybody. It doesn't matter whether you're a brand new employee, if you are, whatever your role is in the building, you come into Chris's office and need a minute to talk, you feel like you're number one, and you truly are. So for that, Chris, thank you so much. We will miss you dearly. You've made a tremendous impact in our building over the last quarter century. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and have a wonderful retirement.
My name is Derek Wilkins, and I have the honor of recognizing Cindy Kramer on her retirement this year. 3 things I'd like to recognize about Cindy are her skills in working with at-risk students. She was great at connecting with our kids, and even if they were having a bad day, they would always love to see Cindy and work with her in her room. She had a unique skill in working with the most difficult students. Secondly, Cindy's positive energy and that infectious smile that she always has. Anytime you'd see Cindy, she'd have a smile on her face, and her friendly attitude was infectious for everyone around, including staff and students alike. Lastly, I'd like to really recognize Cindy on her engagement with families. I know week to week she would always reach out to parents of students that she worked with and just provided some feedback on how they were doing in class and how they could get better and how much she cared about them. And that was super important to me. Congratulations on your retirement, Cindy.
Congratulations to Dan Austin on his second retirement in life. The retirement was from being a lineman at the phone company. Dan started with us as a night custodian at Rolling Green. He then transferred to a night position at the middle school. After that, he transferred to Karen Acres as the full-time day custodian. Dan was very detail-oriented and was always willing to take on extra responsibilities. Dan would often take on the leadership position when we did team cleaning in the summer. He was a good listener and a good leader and a team player. Dan has been sharing his good work and his talents with us since 2011. Thank you for 9 years of great service, and congratulations.
I would like to congratulate Deb Austin on her retirement this year. She will be greatly missed. Deb always went above and beyond in my classroom. She was my right-hand gal. You could tell how much she cared about the students because she would bring things in to do with them, share with them, and give to them. It showed she was thinking about them even when she wasn't at work. This wasn't just a job for Deb, it was her joy of giving. If she wasn't cleaning or preparing materials, she was with students making art, playing house, or reading a book. I wish her well as she enters this next phase of her life. Come back and visit us.
My name is Mary Beth Fast. I've had the pleasure of working with Deb for the last 3 years. And Deb Austin, the hours, days, weeks, months, and years you put in for service to Urbandale School. We want to thank you for all of that. I think if you looked up Deb Austin in a dictionary, you might find this as the definition: dependable, hardworking, tenacious, problem solver, patient, self-starter, professional, works well under pressure, behind-the-scenes worker, lover of family, avid Hawkeye fan, expert target shopper, and friend. We'll miss you, Deb.
My name is Dania Wilson. I'm the Associate Principal at Urbandale High School, and I have the honor of recognizing Deanna Tirich tonight on behalf of the entire EL team. Deanna gave everything she possibly could to her students and families in her 25 years as the Bosnian interpreter at Urbandale High School. Deanna has the biggest heart and would do anything for the families she supported. She made time for students, families, and teachers when you thought she couldn't possibly have any more to give. She was particularly supportive of our new families, helping them to acclimate and helping everyone else to understand how to best support them. Though Deanna did not officially have the title of teacher, she is an educator through and through. She has taught countless students, not to mention all that she has taught our staff, especially me. One of our EL teachers said it best. My favorite thing about Deanna is that she chose to share her love, intelligence, and gifts with all of us at UHS for 25 years when she could have gone and done so many other things. She's simply the best, and I am so sad that we'll be losing her. We wish you the best, Deanna. I am Daniel Wilson, Associate Principal at Urbandale High School. I am so sad but honored to recognize Julie Hansen, who's been with us since 2014. Julie cared deeply about her students. She made college chemistry attainable and engaging for her students, bringing in waffles and Kool-Aid to help them learn concepts. She was always at band and choir performances, as well as sporting events. Julie finds a way to make everything fun. She always participates. One of the best being her Miss Frizzle costume. She was even the runner-up in our TikTok Renegade dance competition this year, where she learned to dance from TikTok and performed it in front of the entire school. The thing that we will miss most in her absence is her ability to keep everyone grounded and focused on what is most important. She gave this advice to a colleague. If the student is safe and learning, then we have accomplished 90% of our job. Julie will be greatly missed, and we wish her best in her retirement.
Congratulations go out to Cam Southafoma on his retirement. Cam was a dedicated worker and worked nights at the high school. At work, Cam wore many hats. I mean, literally. He had a different hat for every day of the month. He loved hats. Cam was a fun and a very likable person to work with. He was always full of compliments and had a positive attitude. Cam was a family man and always talked about his family and asked how other custodians' families were doing. At work, he was dependable and was a team player. Even though Cam worked at the high school, he often helped out at other schools if they were shorthanded. Cam has blessed us with his great work since 1986. For fun, Cam likes to gamble a little, so I asked him what the odds were that he would like retirement. Just so you know, I won't be betting he will be back. Cam, you will be missed. Enjoy your retirement. Thanks for 34 years of great work and dedication.
This is Daniel Wilson, and I'm the Associate Principal at the high school. Leanne Cutler is retiring this year after working in the district as an EL teacher for the last 13 years. I cried when Leanne called to tell me her husband had been transferred and they were moving to Minnesota. She has brought so much joy to so many at UHS. Leanne lived out continual improvement, always looking for new technology, tools, and ways to engage her students. She cares deeply about all of her students, helping to make sure their needs were met both in and outside of school. For some of her students, she was one of the first calls they made to celebrate the birth of a new baby. Leanne loved being a teacher and was energized by the challenges it presented. She is one of a kind, and we will miss her dearly.
Congratulations go out to Lester Smith on his second retirement from Urbandale Schools. Lester started his life working for $1.60 an hour at Yonkers. He was offered a job working at the high school on June 5th for $2.75 an hour. And I was told he was so excited he did cartwheels across the lawn. On June 20th, 1972, he was offered full-time nights at the high school. In 1990, he became the head custodian, and in 2005, he retired. But Lester wasn't done. He came back 4 months later as a sub, and then was put into a full-time, part-time job. And then finally, after 47 and a half years, you heard that right, 47 and a half years later, he decided to retire on March 25th, 2020. So he could go out fishing, bike riding, and just enjoying life with his family. Great job, Lester. Enjoy your time off. You'll be missed.
What a pleasure it's been to work alongside Lisa Gerhoof Hewitt over this past 30 years. She's been a model teacher in the profession, and she's carefully and personally guided many new to the profession. And as a team member, she's also been there for families and students with unconditional support. And this is witnessed by the fact that the families and students who come back to see her give her a hug and just to simply check in. Students and staff would say that she brought technology to the classroom and insisted upon one-to-one resources for students. She has served on our leadership team as a force to push us harder, perhaps than we thought possible, in serving students and families. It would take a much longer video to share all the outstanding things that Lisa's accomplished throughout her teaching career. Part of the heart of Rolling Green is leaving with her in this retirement. We wish her the best, and we hope to live up to her teaching standards and high expectations.
This is Jeremy Brayton. I am recognizing Michelle Johnson. Michelle is our OASIS dropout prevention teacher at Urbandale Middle School. And the three things that I would really emphasize when talking about Michelle and what makes her a tremendous person to work with is her passionate nature about student success, whether that be academics, behavior, social, emotional growth, in any way, shape, or form. She's so passionate and pursues their success so deeply and so intensely that's one thing that makes her a joy to work with. She's so purposeful about student relationships and understands that at their core, that's how she's able to do all of the work that she is able to do with our students and how she's able to have the success. And then again, Michelle just cares so deeply about the people she works with and the students she serves and the families that she supports that makes her so great to work with.
Mickey Osborne's been an Urbandale parent and a PTO member at Jensen Elementary and a longtime special education associate at Rolling Green. Mickey brought cooking class and social skills to the special education students, and soon this grew into this large group of students, friends, and peers. She guided the students in three-step directions to make snacks and food and learned how to set a table and guided them how to have conversations at the table. Because of these skills, she became a teacher for the before and after care during intercession weeks. Her creativity and drive to make those extra weeks of learning extra fun delighted the staff and parents. Her expertise, how to structure and teach a concept to help all students achieve at the highest level and reach their personal goals. Students are going to miss her greeting at the main door each morning and handing out positive praise and making those special connections with individual kids. There's a hole in our heart and the staff at Rolling Green as she's now carrying those skills on with her own grandchildren. We wish her the best.
Nancy Carlson, thank you for your many years of service to the Urbandale Community School District. Your students, families, and your colleagues have learned about your heart, your hard work, and your humor. Your students have been inspired by the heart that you give each day as you build relationships with them. Your families have learned about the hard work that you put in to support students in becoming their very best, as well as the hard work that you expect of the students that you serve. And your humor. Your colleagues have been motivated over the years by your humor and engagement in teaching. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for Urbandale Community School District, and we wish you the best of luck.
Congratulations to Sue Willett, who is retiring this year after 20 plus years of working in Urbandale, both as a special education associate as well as working as a crossing guard for the city of Urbandale to make sure that students get to school safely every day. We have appreciated the dedication that Sue has found to finding ways for students to learn over the years. We will miss Sue so much. She is a hard worker and always wants what's best for the students. She's patient, she's understanding, and her expertise will be missed by all. Sue, we hope that you and your husband enjoy many, many happy years at your lake house.
My name is Michelle Cole, principal at Valerius Elementary, and today I have the great privilege to honor Mrs. Suzanne Mataloni for her 32 years of service as a public school educator. So today I wrote an acrostic poem for you about retirement, Suze. My hopes for you: relax and reinvigorate. Entertain friends and family as much as you can. To-do lists, because we know they're your favorite. Identify new dreams and go after them. Return to Valerius often. Entertain us with your stories. Move and keep up with your walking and yoga. Enjoy your flexibility. Nap whenever you want. and trust that you are leaving a legacy and that you will be dearly missed. From all of us at Valerius, we wish you all the best. We love you, Suze.
Willa Harvey is a kind and caring person, not just for the students in our building, but also for our staff. Willa is always willing to offer a helping hand to anyone in need. She also has a great heart for serving others. Willa is upbeat and cheerful, even if it's been a long day or week. She's also an excellent source of encouragement for all of her students, and she also knows when it's best to just be silly and have fun at times. She's the kindest and most welcoming person. She's always smiling and will definitely be missed by all at Urbandale Middle School.
That's awesome. Thank you to everyone who is retiring. You have a wonderful life ahead of you, I promise. And thank you to all the people who participated in the filming. We really appreciate it. And thank you, Dina, for putting it together.
Thank you so much. I would just say on behalf of parents who've experienced a modicum of what it's like to be a teacher over the past few months, your parents and your community thanks you so much for everything. And we know that this isn't the way that you imagined the end of your last year going. But I hope that this can bring you a little bit of joy and enjoy your retirement nonetheless.
Okay, I think we have everybody except Mark on board now. Is that accurate? I don't know how you'd tell me. No. I think Sarah's with us and Stacy. So at this point, there is a possibility at this point for some communication from the public. If any of our audience who has joined us on Zoom would like to be able to speak, this is your opportunity. Okay, hearing nothing, seeing nothing, we're going to move on to, do we have Mike with us, Steve?
Mike.
Moran? The agenda calls for a celebrations. Okay.
No, that was a misprint. We stopped that 3 months ago. So yeah, I just spoke with him.
That's what I thought.
Sorry.
Okay. So we have no information right now for future meetings, but as you probably all noticed, we will be having a meeting on the 22nd of June that is later in the agenda to be approved. So there will be some information for you to pursue with that. So we will move forward to the facilities updates. Does anyone have anything they want to add to that?
Just seems like a lot of block work going on, and even stud forming at Olmsted of first, second floors and all the A, B, C wings. Fitness center is about 98, 99% complete. We'll be doing a punch list early next week, and hopefully we'll have that done by July 1st with all of the small things taken care of. And the HVAC continue to work. All the work's done in the gyms. 80% is done in the locker rooms and the offices, and boilers and new water heater are all set, and the piping is going in connected to those. So that project's coming along nice as well.
Great.
I have a question, but it's not about Olmsted. It's regarding an update on the fitness center. Would it be appropriate for me to ask the question now or during the pay application portion? My question was simply, what percent are we to our budget that we set? Because we're nearing the end of the project, it looks really fabulous, and I just wanted to know where we are on track for budget.
I would have to get you that information, and I'm not prepared to give that to you tonight, but I can certainly check into that.
Not a problem. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mary Beth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Sarah can talk. Oh, now you can.
Can I talk now?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I mean, I don't have anything to say, but I just
Well, that could be more of us than you, so it's all good. Okay, so we will move now into the action items. So item A is approval of the strategic plan for next academic year and the end of year data reports. Do we have any clarifications or questions?
I'd move
Okay.
to approve the strategic plan.
I would second.
So all in favor, can you just put your thumb up?
Aye.
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 All right, Beth, did you see everybody?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay.
Unanimous.
Okay. Okay, so item B is the approval of the official branding system and style guide, which looks awesome. Thanks for all your work, Dina, Steve, and Bill and everybody. May I have a motion?
Move to approve the style guide.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor, thumb? Okay. Opposed? Okay, good.
Unanimous?
Yep, okay. So we'll move on to C, the partnership renewal with Studer Education. We have any discussion?
Catherine, after having your questions answered, you obviously gave it a lot of thought and put a lot of effort into your questions. And I feel administration put a lot of effort into your answers. Would you mind sharing with us a little bit on your perspective? Because I know you're really interested in professional development and these type of things. If not, that's okay.
Sure. For the audience sake, I did ask a number of questions to try to clarify this investment for the next 3 years. As you realized, I did miscalculate it. It's $110,000. I didn't quite understand a lot of the answers. I don't understand a lot of the terminology that's used inside. So my big question, I think, is when I started to add all of the investment that we've made over the last decade, and between the salaries and benefits and the investment in the materials and the presenters between Shipley and Langford and Studer, I came up with probably close to $2 million. For that investment, I'm very concerned that we are getting what we hoped we are. And I don't know whether that's applicable or true or not. And I think I was probably conservative because I didn't add in costs for the materials that get ordered or the travel that many people have made over the years. I continue to wonder when the quality and continual improvement and these investments will be self-sustaining so that we don't need outside instruction. And I've also been given to understand that we've already had 3 years of Studer, and this will be a repeat of the same programming. So as long as you asked, I'm not particularly supportive of this. I think the people inside who've already done this training probably could continue it for less than $110,000. So that's the conclusion I've come to. I'm sorry I stepped out of my role as the president, but that's kind of my take on it at this point.
Any other questions I can answer for the board?
I guess is it going to be the exact same material type situations that they did the last 3 years?
That is my understanding.
Steve, do you know for sure?
Yeah, there will be some going forward and going deeper, but again, like any organization, we're hoping, especially one that focuses on continual improvement. Again, if you look at the list of what they have had a part, not that they've done everything, but they've had a part. We've grown just in the short time I've been here, not to mention what the district has done prior. So in my heart, no, we won't end up in the same place. We may have the same consultant, but you know, it's kind of like any organization. If you only stay with what you know, there will be no growth, almost guaranteed. And that is probably the strongest thing we do that helps us build consistency in the district, which is a strong desire for us and the board.
Any other discussion, questions?
I guess when we spoke about this, I can't remember when. I feel like it was last year, but we had, maybe it was more recent than that, but I feel like we had talked a little bit about how this is transferring over to the buildings, and I thought we were supposed to get like some feedback on that. Am I not remembering this correctly?
I don't recall that conversation in that we've had where we've talked specifically about Studer. Again, the carryover is in everything we do with the board approved strategic plan. If you look at a lot of the processes and procedures that we have in place, and that Studer helped us. Engagement. I mean, I hope you had a chance to look at the engagement. We're at the 89th percentile, which is quite frankly just incredible. And all but the 1 year when we went back from 72 to 61, we've gone from the 34th percentile 5 years ago. And the average organization is at the 38th percentile. So again, the board always asks us, you know, what impact is that making? It's the work we do on continual improvement, which is from the work that we do with one of our partners in Studer. Not everything we do, of course, but it's taken us quite a ways.
I'm on a meeting. Please wait till I'm done. Okay.
I do remember that question that you asked, Sarah, and I had hoped to. I think there was a commitment to be able to represent how it filters in. Scaffold, I think is the term.
Yeah, I do remember asking the question and having the conversation. And I thought it was the evening that like we went over just like a couple different books that book studies you guys were having. That's kind of the setting I remember. And then I don't know. It's I don't have any questions either, but I'm not I just feel like I need more information on I guess like how we are measuring the growth, or like what the expected outcome is, I guess is what I would say. Like, what is, like, do we just go, is it indefinitely Studer, or do we say this is, you know, or maybe I guess with leadership, you hope that the growth is indefinite, but I would agree with Catherine. And what do they bring? What is new? What is what are we expecting over the next 3 years, I guess?
I think the challenge with that is again, as we evolve, it's hard to say where you'll end up. And I understand the concept of at some point, you'd like to hope everything is institutionalized and we do it. Why we still attend various Jim Shipley and Associates, we've backed off from them. And I wasn't here when it started. So again, the intent always is to get to some place where you can self-sustain. But, 3 years, when you look at all the change that we've gone through and probably will continue to go through with, even with onboarding of new administrators, after one more year, you have a new superintendent. So if the focus is still continual improvement, I think there's still lots of work and lots of ways to improve, but to really say, here's where we're going to end up, I think that's a challenge, because anything, whether it's teaching, it's all about trying to evolve and trying to improve and be better. And it's hard to have an exact target on that, because everything we do ties in to everything, whether it's dealing with students, whether it's dealing with staff. We're finding through the return to learn with lack of state leadership and federal leadership, it's tough to do the return to learn plan. And a district is no different. Without leadership, a district will struggle. And we feel this is a strong investment in the leaders, and also, again, to keep that consistency. And that's why our recommendation is to, retain them for another 3 years, because we know we can grow and we feel they've brought a lot to the table.
And I am only contending that I don't know that we need to pay them again. I was not advocating for going away from the processes or the functionality. So that's all I have to say about it at this point. So if I inferred that you should go away from it, that's not what I was saying at all. I'm just saying I don't know that we need this contract. But go ahead, Judy.
Oh, I was going to say I'm inclined to, at this point, trust that the administration, this is a particular area where they don't really have an incentive to advocate for something that they don't truly believe is of the best interest of the district in terms of this unique transition period that we're in leadership. And if this is a tool that they feel will help them in this transition period, I trust that, because this is an admission of the need for continual support and improvement. So in my mind, Sarah, I completely understand it's hard to benchmark, I agree with you. Success with this, I think, isn't clearly delineated, but that's kind of built in the nature of continual improvement, I think. But anyway, I'm inclined to support it, and I'm ready to make a motion to approve.
I have just one more question before we move forward. So, okay, so we look at another, basically like another $111,000 invested in this, like, I do think it's reasonable to ask, like, if this, if we're bringing this in for our leadership team, at some point it should be impactful in the rest of our district as well. And also it says here, that it usually takes multiple years to establish change, but we are already looking at multiple years invested. So, I guess go ahead with your motion. I just am hesitant because we didn't, like, what I recall is asking for more information and not getting that back. And okay, I'll just leave it at that.
So is there a motion on the table?
Yeah, I move to approve the contract.
I would second that.
Okay. So on this one, let's do a roll call.
Okay. Downs?
Yay.
Ashley Anderson?
Yay.
Sarah Geiser?
Yes.
Schmitz?
I'm not voting in favor of this.
Stacy Anderson?
No.
Catherine Hauser?
No.
So we have a split vote, 3-3.
Which means it does not pass then.
Okay. Item D, approval of participation in summer sports. This would be for baseball and softball. Do we have any discussion or questions about that?
Catherine,
I have a bunch of questions.
I'm going to, and Ashley, I would love to hear all of your questions. I just want to state if we could take a roll call vote. I do want to abstain out of an abundance of personal beliefs, so it's not my intention to vote on this particular issue. I'm highly concerned about it, and so I would like to take a roll call vote. That's all I have to say.
On the summer sports?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks. Ashley?
Steve, I just needed some clarification on a number of different things. I did some looking into the different recommendations for games that will start on the 15th, if we go ahead with this. So what is the radius in which kids will travel for games?
The schedule basically remains the same. The two farthest trips, I believe, are one to Mason City and one to Fort Dodge. Again, we're very fortunate otherwise. 90% of our games are pretty much in the metro.
Okay. I was looking at the CDC website in regards to sports and like high school kids, etc. And there was a nice little infographic that showed like the least dangerous to the most potentially harmful decisions. The most potentially harmful being traveling like outside of your geographical area, which I think would cover those two games. The next better option is to travel within your geographical area. The one after that is to only play basically scrimmage games against your own team, because that kind of keeps everybody in the same area. So I have a little bit of a concern with our kids traveling that far. And I was looking over the recommendations for transportation on the bus, and it worries me that we're not mandatory masks for either games for the fans/parents that are there at a state level. I know this is not something that we individually can control, but it really makes me concerned that we're setting ourselves up for potential areas of concern. And then I didn't see anything in there specifically about the distancing for the catcher, batter, umpire area. Because like, I understand folks that
There
are
will
in
not
the
be any social distance for that.
Yeah.
The game wouldn't be the game. And a couple other things so you're aware. There's only a handful of schools in the state who are not moving forward with this. We realize none of this is ideal. None of this that we're working on, the return to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And again, why the governor even flipped from being very safeguarded to all of a sudden things opening up. Again, I'm sure it had to do with, just the getting the workforce back and things. And this is one thing, again, was within the resolution. And I really, while I do respect the board's questions, I guess I didn't believe we would have some people against it, I guess, because it's an opportunity for kids. Not that winning is everything, but our boys are the two-time defending state champs. You've got seniors, whether it's at the high school or college level, who missed out on many, many opportunities. So the state was giving that freedom to do that. And I just wasn't comfortable making that decision on my own because, again, we're talking about human safety. Nobody wants to be accountable for somebody getting sick or anything like that. I get that. But, the regulations, this baseball is just the start. If they're going to try to put us in schools, even if it's through there's no way we can continue to do social distancing to the degree that all they continue to say is do the best you can. And that's all we can all do.
And I understand that. I have more concerns because I understand that we can't control any of this, but I want to say out loud where my concerns are in hopes that it will make sense of where I'm coming from at any point. I was concerned about the fact that when it comes to double checking, we're just asking kids whether they've had any cold symptoms and then checking their temperature, but we very easily could have asymptomatic carriers that could spread. Do we have an answer to how we'll handle if there is an outbreak with another school on one of their teams? Does that mean we will stop playing, or does we just don't play that team?
No, that's written up too. The associations both came out with something, I believe it was Friday, And basically they're saying, no, you only shut your own team down for 14 days if you have a case. If you do not have one and it's another team, all they say is continue to watch your symptoms.
Is there a liability to us for the fans? Say we had a game here, we're not requiring masks for anyone. There's an outbreak within the bleachers.
My understanding is as long as we do the best we can. I know actually, I think Brad Zahn, I think, is helping to lead something about, again, the liability issue with all businesses, with all schools, because there is no way you could directly say where anybody received this. You could walk down your street and talk near a neighbor.
Sorry, can I jump in on that?
Sure.
I think just to add, I'm not a lawyer, but the legal standard for us is that we took reasonable precautions. So that's what's current, is reasonable precautions. And then there's laws federally and statewide that have been introduced, not passed, that would further protect. But I think where we're at under reasonable precautions covers, I think, what we would consider to be sufficient. And as long as we provide people with the opportunity to participate in a safe way, then we have done met our legal requirement.
Okay.
And here's my concern. I don't know if everyone can see it, but this is the graph of Iowa cases. You can't, it goes like kind of straight up like this. And so we haven't flattened the curve. And I feel like when our state officials are not doing the right thing, it's incumbent upon the people to try to do the right thing. And I don't think our government has handled this properly.
Stacey, I agree with you, but that graph is misleading. That's not the curve, because that's the total number of cases. So it can only go up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're in a really horrible position right now, and I think it's one that's not of our making. It's my understanding, Steve, that the kids are already practicing.
That's correct, on the first.
Yeah, actually, can I, as a parent of a player, can I give some background information? And first of all, I want to commend Dr. Watson and the district and both associations for high school for really thinking about the players. And I have a catcher. So I will, of course, be very conscientious of my own player, but also all of her teammates as well. So I know that all practices have really been in small groups. There's not groups bigger than 10. They are doing a really good job. Even they have a specific spot where they have to stand to wait to come into the field every day so that they can't get close by each other and even, chat before practices. They have to stay within their same group of team. There's not much intermixing at all, except for some pitcher catcher workouts. All equipment is being wiped down. That's why even the practice is longer, because they are doing a lot of sanitizing in between workouts and practicing. We're only allowed, each player is only allowed 2 tickets. So there won't be extra fans coming. It will only be the parents that are able to come. And I had lots of reservations, lots of concerns about this, but I also have lots of concerns about the mental health and well-being of our players if they're not able to participate. Spring sports was a huge thing that many were not able to participate in, and I feel for those athletes as well. But at least now I feel like my own personal experience, I have my teenager back, my daughter that's super excited about something and engaged in an activity that she just loves. And that was a hard decision for me even to say. The other thing is or at least our softball coach said, every parent can opt out. So if you do not feel comfortable, then, and he did a really nice job of talking with all the team about that, and said that this would never affect your future playing time. This would never affect anything. If you and your family make that decision, then you can opt out of playing this year. And there was also a waiver that we signed as well. So there have been multiple precautions. We've been asked, there's only a limited time that they'll be traveling on the bus, and they will have assigned spots on the bus so that they will be like every other. And most of the time that they travel, they're asked to be taken by their parents, and they can be taken by their parents so that they don't need to ride the bus if they choose not to. I'm hoping that helps.
That does.
Some of those.
That explains some of my questions. I guess the only other big like block that I've had on this, at least in my brain, because I've talked to like a number of different people who played sports in high school, have kids that play sports. I've talked to a number of doctors in regards to the spread in Polk County specifically, because Polk County is still pretty bad compared to the rest of the state. And I'm just having some reservations about like the practice. I can understand we're keeping it relatively grouped within our own kids. If they do skirmishes within our team, it's just the like traveling and constantly playing with other children, and the fact that we can't like there's not a good, and I understand that baseball and softball are two of the least contact sports, which would be a really good opening to try this stuff out. It just I'm just trying to wrap my brain around the having to play against other students and the potential of spread. That's my largest like brain pause.
And Ashley, it's not that you're thinking wrong. Believe me, every answer we talk about in the hundreds and maybe thousands and thousands of hours, you know, even our own district is worked through on these processes. There's no great answer here. We're in a whole unprecedented and it's scary stuff. I would never deny the fears, what you're saying. But I also have to trust that if they're allowing to do certain things, I'm with you though. It's not like I've told everybody to come back to work even in the summer. I have the same concerns, but I think it's worthy of giving it a go.
And I think that was a very important point that at least the head softball coach made to players, is that it's your choice. You know, if you do not feel safe, if this is not something that you, even though you really want to play, that will not be anything that will ever hinder you in the future for playing and things like that. I also know they're limiting dugouts. You know, they have assigned spots as where they sit, you know, during games. So as best that they can, I truly do believe that they're trying their best to keep our kids safe.
Okay, are we ready to make a motion?
I'd move to approve the plan.
I would second.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do a roll call vote. Sarah Schmitz. Oh, she's muted and I can't see her. Dina, I'll let you work on Sarah and I'll go to Stacy.
I'm going to abstain.
Abstain, okay. And Catherine Hauser?
I would say yes. I think probably because of my absolute confidence in Dr. Watson.
Okay. Sarah, I'll go back to you.
Yes.
Okay.
And I am going to put it back on mute just so you guys know, just because my daughter is making her voice known, so.
Okay. Brianna?
Yes.
Ashley Anderson?
I think with all of the stuff that I've talked with doctors and seen, I think I'm still going to say no.
And Judy Downs?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have 1 abstention, 1 no, and 4 yes. The motion carries.
Thanks everyone for a really good discussion. Thank you.
I'm sorry for all the questions, Steve.
I really
came out of nowhere.
appreciated hearing
Don't
the different
apologize.
perspectives.
Well, I understand 1 or 2. When I get to like 15, 20, 30 questions, it gets to be a bit much in a meeting.
This is the thing we should be, like, this is kids' health. We should be talking about it.
Okay, the next item is the addition of a board meeting on the 22nd.
Motion to approve.
Okay,
Second.
thank you.
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
I did.
Thank you, Stacy.
Stacy. Thumbs?
You said there'd be an option to zoom in, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm working on that. I got to talk to Dina, who's not talking to us right now.
All right, that motion carried.
The purchase of Chromebook cases. Any questions? Motion?
I'll move.
Second.
Okay.
Okay. All in favor? Thumbs up.
Sarah, I can't see you. Okay, there we go. Thank you.
Okay, is that unanimous? Yes?
Yes, it was. I'm sorry. Yes, unanimous.
Okay. Now we move to the item of purchase of fitness center cameras and a card reader. Any questions on this item? We've kind of seen this proposal before.
I move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Yes, I said.
Okay.
All in favor? Thumbs up.
Unanimous?
Mhm. I'm sorry, I flipped out on my iPad here. Okay, so that's the end of the action items. Don't have any board reports. Steve, anything?
I do not have anything at this time. Thank you.
Okay. So may I have a motion to bring forward the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. We have any questions or discussion on items A through, wow, G4?
My only question is, I just get, and I feel like the question was answered. I just do get nervous when we make it in regards to the yearbooks, when we make our decisions regarding personal relationships. I know that Dr. Watson and I worked together when I was, as me in the role of a parent with another vendor that we used due to personal agreements, and it ended up that families have been paying exorbitant amount of money for musical instruments and things of that nature. And as a board member, we could never say that we had a personal relationship with somebody, so we'd like this person to come in over this person unless it was an architect. So it just makes me nervous. But I do appreciate Steve responding to my questions. So thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, discussion? Okay. So let's do a roll call.
Okay. Downs?
Yes.
Ashley Anderson?
Yes.
Sarah Geiser?
Yes.
Sarah Schmitz? I see yes. Stacy Anderson?
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes.
Unanimous?
Yes. Thanks, guys.
I should have spoke up. You guys are quicker than I. Just wanted to point out, we're pretty excited about the 2 new hires. I hope you noticed there was an addendum put in there for Ryan Williams. And so again, we have to wait and see. Technically, he had signed his contract in Des Moines, and by law, you cannot have dual contracts. So we anticipate they'll let him out of his contract, and we're really excited about what he's going to bring to the table.
I hadn't seen that there was an addendum put in there.
It's in there, Sarah. If you take a look at the board packet, it should be.
Okay. Williamson, right, Steve?
Yes,
I think.
sorry. Yes.
Is there anything else, Steve?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. May I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, guys. Good discussion. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.
Hey.
Bye, everybody.